After the miscarriage, I erased every habit Giles hated. I stopped asking where he went. When he stayed out all night, I turned off the lamp and slept soundly. When I got injured in training, the medic asked for next of kin. I stared at the white ceiling. I don't have any. The nurse recognized me. You're General Marshall's wife. Shuld I call him? I shook my head. No need. 30 minutes later, Giles stood in the doorway, uniform sharp, cold as ice. Why didn't you call me first? It's just a scratch. Not worth bothering the commanding general. My indifference made him stiffen. Then hallway gossip drifted in. The general flew a Black Hawk for Maya from the USO, carried her, wouldn't let her walk after she twisted her ankle. I watched Giles's chest clench. He searched my face for jealousy, for rage, for the old me. But I just leaned back, closed my eyes, and let the silence hang. It wasn't until we were in his military jeep that he finally spoke, his voice a low growl of defense. Don't listen to the gossip. It was professional. Maya was invited here to perform for the troops. She got hurt on my watch. It was my responsibility to handle it, okay? I said softly. I didn't add anything else. Giles's temper flared suddenly. You don't believe me. Is this still about that? God, Cassie? I've come back to you. I'm here. What more do you want? I stared out the window at the passing barracks. My profile, a blank slate. I believe you, I said. I just didn't think I was an emergency. I didn't want to interrupt your work. Let's just go back to the quarters. The same scripted response autopilot. Giles slammed his fist against the steering wheel. The horn blared, a sharp, ugly sound that cut through the winter air, startling a group of performers who were just finishing their set across the road. One girl looked up. As the moonlight hit her face, the air inside the jeep turned to ice. Maya, what is she still doing out here? Giles muttered. He glanced at me instinctively. In the past, every time I saw her, I'd lose my mind. I'd scream. I'd cry. I'd demand to know why she was wearing a coat that looked like mine. But now, I just gave her a fleeting glance and looked away. Nothing. Giles gripped the wheel, but his eyes were glued to the rearview mirror. It was a brutal December night. The girl was shivering in a thin stage costume, her arms wrapped tight around herself, her nose red from the cold. His hand was already on the door handle. The concern was practically leaking out of him. I understood the script perfectly. I opened my door and stepped out, giving him the exit he was dying for. If you need to do a final sweep of the camp, I can walk back. It is not far. I didn't wait for an answer. I turned toward the intersection. Giles jumped out and caught my wrist. It's over between us, Cassie. I didn't know she was here. Why won't you trust me? I nodded. I do trust you, Giles. She's a young girl in a tough spot. Even if it's over, it's normal to care. I get it. He stared at my face. There was no bitterness there, no hidden edge. That was what terrified him. I used to have an insatiable hunger for his attention. If I found a single long hair on his uniform, I'd interrogate him until dawn. Now, I was exactly what he'd always begged me to be. Reasonable, quiet, undemanding, but it felt like he was breathing through wet cotton. I pulled my hand back and walked away. At the corner, I stopped and looked back. Beside the jeep, Giles had already draped his heavy coat over Maya's shoulders. He was cupping her face in his hands, leaning down to kiss her with a desperation that looked like pain. I wasn't surprised. I should have seen it coming. I certainly wasn't going to be the woman I was the first time I caught him. The crazy wife screaming, Giles, have you no shame? I've been with you since I was 18. We had nothing. And now you tell me you love someone else? Back then, he had looked at the blood on his lip where I'd struck him and sneered. Shame? You want to talk about shame? You were sleeping with me at 18. Your own parents didn't even want you. I'm the one who took you out of that state home. I've raised you for a decade. You should be thanking me.